Chuck Swindoll's words pierce through the fog of discouragement. Quote, "When you suffer and lose, that does not mean you are being disobedient to God. In fact, it might mean you're right in the center of His will. The path of obedience is often marked by times of suffering and loss." End quote. This truth is both sobering and liberating. It reminds us that suffering is not always a sign of failure or divine displeasure. It may be the very evidence of our faithfulness. It's important to recognize this because Satan, the accuser of the brethren, often loves to heap guilt on sincere believers by whispering to them, "You're suffering because God is angry with you." Let's look at 3 biblical truths to affirm this. Number 1, obedience often invites opposition. Jesus himself was sinless, yet he suffered more deeply than any other. His obedience led him to the cross, not away from it. Although he was a son, he learned obedience through what he suffered. Hebrews 5:8. When we walk in obedience, we may face rejection, loss, or hardship. But these trials refine our faith and deepen our dependence on God. Don't assume suffering is a sign of failure. It's often God's school of holiness. Number 2, suffering can be a sign of spiritual maturity. Paul's life was marked by relentless obedience and relentless suffering. He saw his trials as a badge of honor, not a burden. For it had been granted to you that for the sake of Christ, you should not only believe in him, but also suffer for his sake. Philippians 1:29. Loss and pain can be divine appointments that shape us into the image of Christ. They strip away self-reliance and cultivate spiritual depth. And lastly, number 3, God's presence is always strongest in the valley. The center of God's will is not always a place of comfort, but it is always a place of communion. In suffering, we often experience His nearness most profoundly. The Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves the crushed in spirit. Psalm 34:18. When everything else is stripped away, we discover that Christ is enough. His presence becomes our portion, and His grace sustains us. Maranatha.